Hello, friends. This is a brief recap of the 2019 movie titled White as Snow, a fairy tale for adults. The first part of the movie follows a girl named Claire. After her father, the owner of a hotel business, passes away, Claire is left with her stepmother, who inherits the entire business. Claire goes for a run early in the morning and gets abducted by a kidnapper. The criminal forces her into the trunk of a car and speeds away. While driving on a forest road, the kidnapper tries to avoid a suddenly appearing wild boar and crashes into a tree. Thanks to this, Claire manages to escape from the trunk. The girl runs through the forest, but at some point, not knowing where to run further, Claire stops, and her kidnapper catches up with her. But he has a gun, after all. She asks Claire to close her eyes. Everything will happen very quickly. After that, a shot is heard. Claire regains consciousness in an unfamiliar house. A man enters the room with breakfast. According to Pierre's words, he was going to hunt wild boars in the forest but ended up shooting a woman instead. He believes that Claire probably did something, as no one would just intend to kill her without reason. The girl suggests calling the police, but she is once again put in jail by the guy. He has no desire to do so. After leaving the room, Pierre returns with different clothes instead of what Claire had on. While the girl was unconscious, Pierre undressed her, washed her clothes, and got dressed himself. As Claire puts on the clothes and explores the house, she encounters another man named Vincent, a cellist. While listening to the music played by the cellist, Claire falls asleep, but she is awakened by Francois, Pierre's twin brother. They only differ in the fact that Francois stutters heavily, unlike his brother. Pierre asks the girl to leave the house, as those who intended to kill her will likely search for Claire, and sooner or later will reach this house. He has no desire to deal with them. Claire tries to persuade Pierre to stay. After all, why did he save her if he's now kicking her out? Pierre himself realizes the inconsistency, but then yells at Claire, for which he receives a backlash from her. Pierre grabs her, but then lets go. Upon returning, Pierre kisses the girl, to which Claire doesn't resist at all. In the morning, as Claire leaves the house, she encounters Vincent with his dog. The twins are at the sawmill, and Claire doesn't want to stay in the house alone. Therefore, she volunteers to go with the cellist to the veterinarian. On the way back, Vincent suggests to the girl to stop by a tavern. There, Claire reveals that she used to be into playing the violin as a child, but after the accident in which her mother died, she abandoned it all. Upon returning home, Vincent presents a violin to the girl, genuinely believing that one shouldn't give up on music. At that moment, Pierre appears. He's unhappy that Claire went with Vincent, as now the entire town knows that they have a girl living in their house, which increases the chances of her being found. In the morning, looking out the window of her room, Claire notices Pierre chopping wood. Approaching her, Pierre begins to kiss the girl, after which they engage in sexual activity. Late at night, lying in her bed, Claire hears the sound of the television. She goes downstairs and sits on the couch next to Pierre, using her foot to gently stroke his leg. After their intimate moment, Pierre stammers and expresses his strong desire for a drink. Claire realizes that it wasn't Pierre at all, but his twin brother Francois. He understands that he shouldn't have done it, but couldn't resist, which brings a smile to Claire's face. The next day, not wanting to be a burden only to the twins, Claire gets a job at a local tavern. The girl returns home and tries to call her stepmother. However, as soon as she utters her name on the other end, they hang up immediately. The second part of the film takes us exactly 1 week back, before these events. Claire's stepmother, named Moth, watches from the window as her lover, Bernard, helps her pick up a dropped towel. When Bernard enters Moth's room, she suggests that they no longer hide their relationship from others, as her husband is no longer alive. But they need to take a pause in their relationship, as their feelings have somewhat cooled, to prevent things from getting worse. Bernard agrees. And when Moth leaves, he calls Claire and confesses his love to her, which Moth overhears while hiding in the adjacent room. Unwilling to tolerate this situation, Moth arranges for Claire's elimination. Sometime later, the couple has lunch at a restaurant. Bernard inquires about Claire's whereabouts, as he hasn't seen her for several days. Moth reassures him and explains that this isn't the first time. The girl has disappeared for a few days before. At that moment, Moth's phone receives a call. It's Claire. Moth immediately turns off the phone. In the tavern where Claire started working, all the visitors pay attention to the girl. The local librarian named Charles, whom Claire got acquainted with when she went to the vet with Vincent, has even brought his son Clement to meet her. And Sam, the veterinarian himself, is not behind the others, showing Claire signs of attention. He invites her to go to a club in the evening, where some guy starts bothering Claire. Sam can't stand up for the girl, but Clement steps in, knocking down the persistent guy with a single blow. On the way home, Claire remarks that she considered Sam strong, but he turned out to be vulnerable, and she actually likes it. Turning onto the shoulder of the road, the veterinarian stops the car and asks the girl to repeat those words again. Claire confesses that she likes Sam and touches his hand, then straddles him. A crowd of squirrels watches this couple. In the morning, Maud arrives in town. Noticing Claire, she enters the library where she meets Charles. He admires the beauty of the woman, saying that this is already the second angel in their town this week, Maud and another young girl who recently moved here. Charles advises Maud to visit the church. There are guest rooms there where she can stay for a while. Meeting with the pastor, Maud tells him about her stepdaughter who went missing a few days ago. Perhaps she could have settled in their town. Learning the name, the pastor informs that he knows this girl. Maud asks him not to tell anyone anything, otherwise Claire will run away again. According to Maud, the girl is upset with her because after her father's death, Maud didn't pay her enough attention. The pastor suggests becoming a mediator and arranging a reconciliation between the girl and her stepmother. In the morning, during her run, Claire joins Clayman. The guy is attractive to her. In general, it feels like in this town, there are no men she wouldn't find appealing. Clayman is very shy, but he still tries to hug the girl and falls to the ground. After getting up, Clayman starts running away. Claire heads to the church where she tells the pastor about her involvement with several men. According to Pierre, these are all local guys who stir up her blood. The pastor informs her that there is someone in the church who seeks reconciliation with Claire and guides her to Maud. Seeing her stepmother, Claire rushes into her arms. According to Maud, she managed to find the girl because Claire called her, but the connection was unexpectedly cut off. Using the phone number, the stepmother traced the call's origin. Sharing the details of that day, Claire expresses her desire to stay in this town where she has made many new friends. Maud doesn't object. She plans to stay here for a few days as well and will try to persuade Claire to return home. Claire needs to get to work, and Maud offers to give her a ride to the town. On the way, Maud suddenly stops at the edge of a cliff under the pretext that the tires went flat. The stepmother asks Claire to check what's wrong with the wheel. Sneaking up on the girl, Maud prepares to push her off the cliff. However, at that moment, the pastor arrives on his motorcycle. Learning that everything is fine, the couple continues on their way as the plan is foiled due to an unnecessary witness. Maud drives Claire back to the town, suggesting they meet up on the upcoming weekend. Unaware of anything, Claire agrees. In the tavern, Charles approaches the girl. According to him, his son, Clayman, has been avoiding him, acting stubbornly and refusing to talk to him. Therefore, Charles asks Claire to talk to the young man, hoping she can get him to change his behavior towards his father. He will surely listen to her, as the girl really appeals to him. After work, Claire visits Clayman and tells him that she loves him, followed by a kiss. Entering the library, she informs Charles that everything is okay. Sunday arrives, and Claire, along with her stepmother, sets off for a picnic. Maud offers an apple to Claire, laced with poison. Just as Claire is about to take a bite, Clayman appears on the field. She invites him to join them and hands him the apple. Maud grabs the fruit, stating that she doesn't know this guy at all. Clayman apologizes and leaves, while Claire, placing the apple aside, goes after the guy, later having an encounter with him in the woods under the rain. As night falls, Maud arrives in the town where dances are in full swing. Observing Claire, who dances with one person and then another, the stepmother orders 2 glasses of wine, adding the potion to one of them again. However, another failure awaits her. Standing in her way is Clayman, who accidentally knocks one of the glasses out of Maud's hand. Clayman tells the girl that he did it on purpose. The stepmother gives Claire a cold look. This plan didn't work, so Maud brings the stepdaughter a drink and then starts shaking her, causing Claire to feel unwell. Afterward, she seats the girl in the car under the pretense of taking her home. Driving along the winding mountain road, Maud confesses that she was in love only once in her life, and that love was stolen from her by Claire. Then she opens the car doors and pushes the girl out of the vehicle. Coming to a stop, Maud approaches the edge of the cliff, making sure the stepdaughter's body isn't moving, and then drives away. The stepmother enters the church to light a candle but accidentally sets herself on fire. Claire manages to survive. She lies on a hospital bed. Standing beside her are 7 men who love her, each taking turns to approach the girl and kiss her. Afterward, Claire regains consciousness. The movie ends here. Thank you for watching, and see you on the channel.